have one rule: no liquid and food on the carpet. Okay. Just put it off. It's somebody's Remy on the floor. Remy, love you.
Hello, girls. Ladies, I mean. Did you get something to eat? There's something to eat? Did you eat?
You're forgetting so many snacks. Oh my god.
Yeah, because having all the cards is that I have pretty much all the
I don't get that one. Wait, what?
You have to run like the Oculus.
What do you mean it was $2 for 6?
Because I thought it was two $1. It was one $5 and one
Wait, what? What was the
She was holding over and talking about that. And he's like, see her. And he was like,
Can I have one?
watch the map.
That's stuck in my ear.
Wait, only one pair?
And the real let's go with the dog.
Hey, maybe we could say
Have you ever heard of the story? You know the story of Princess Ruby, right? You know Once Upon a Mattress?
yes.
No, the play Once Upon a Mattress. So funny because there's this girl and she's like not the test, and someone finds out what the test is. It's really complicated, and then so we put the queen puts a queen under 20 mattresses, right? But he said Shirley wants to just to pass the test, so they know what the test is, so they take a bunch of pants and put it under her bed while the queen doesn't actually know everything's there. And when she wakes up, they start to make like 20 different things. Everyone thinks it's just the queen. Remember the Wizard of Oz? This was the middle school.
While you're gone, let us use the card.
You play.
No, two hands. I watched Wizard of Oz in my class play, and they were so
Like, our school is like, they're really good.
usually not good action.
Well, remember the like, I mean, she had a small part, wasn't she good though?
She was a really good actor. I thought
Yeah, she was the main, she was the princess in this movie. She was so good. Now go on.
Whoa, I get all those cards.
Oh yeah, the girl who was Oz and the fortune teller, she was the main character of the series. Cameron was so good.
Why is that? Hey, one set. No, I said the
River was the Joker. It was so annoying. He was saying to the guys to do it, and it kept on messing up. Plus, you have no cards. That's not fair. Because the only card I have
Remember, I think you said one-handed. It's not one-handed. I told her to.
I was missing a card.
Which card is 5?
I had the 2 of diamonds.
Oh, no, this is
Hey guys, what's the card? My card. You're missing a 2 of diamonds. Don't bend the pot.
No, you're not. Scratch 6, 7, call. Oh my man. 6, 5, stop. Ready, set, That's 5. Uno, no shot. Hold on, let's see which one more.
Take your shoes off. Take your shoes off.
Guys, we have
Katie. Oh. I spent my okay. Katie, that's a Katie. That's a Katie.
$2,000 for the past I've never spent. I don't spend. She spends money. Use this thing.
I have no cards. We can play something else after we're finished telling the comments. This is not the
Downstairs. Downstairs. What's this? Oh, there's a downstairs.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi. If I could have everyone's attention, we're going to get started now. Let me know if I'm speaking too loudly, too softly. So, my name is Sogel Lunge, and I'm a member of the Rallo team here. I'm also one of the organizers of this event, and somehow I became the MC of the event as well. That wasn't on purpose. Those of you who know me know that I really, really dislike public speaking, but here I am, it's a noble cause. I was talking to my little sister Kelly, She's over there. She's helping us organize the volunteers. And I was asking her for tips on how to speak, in front of everyone, and how to MC an event. She's pretty good at it. And she told me the #1 most important thing I can't forget to do when I'm up here is to let everyone know where the bathroom is. So, down the stairs, take a right. It's the 3rd door on the right. I've done my job. So for those of you who are wondering why we're only getting started right now, it's 4 o'clock or 4:10. Our event started officially at 3 o'clock. For those of you who don't know, I'd like to introduce you to a concept that we fondly know as Tibetan time or Nepali time. We've got to keep a little hour in there just to cushion, make sure everyone's here. So I'd like to welcome you all to Heal the Himalayas. This is our benefit concert for Nepal earthquake relief. And I want to thank you all for coming on this lovely Sunday. Can I take a quick audience poll? How many mothers are in the audience? Please. Wow, quite a few. Round of applause for the moms. I see a few confused faces out there. If that's you, shame on you, it's Mother's Day. You should go call your mom right now. But it's actually, Mother's Day is an interesting holiday because growing up here with Tibetan parents, I would go to school and come back from elementary school. We'd have written all these letters and bought flowers for our mom, or on Father's Day for your father. You have all these gifts, and I would present that to my mom, who's out there in the audience somewhere, and she'd always be like, "Mother's Day? Every day is Mother's Day. It's not just today." So I'm sure some of you have similar experiences at home. But getting more serious, I think we all know why we're here today. 2 weeks ago, Nepal suffered a disaster, the likes of which it hasn't seen in over 80 years. And there was a terrible loss of life, damage to buildings, historic sites, to infrastructure, and I mean, it was just such a terrible human tragedy on a huge scale like we haven't seen in a while. For us here at Rallo, Nepal is very important to us. Many of us have family and friends there in Nepal, and so for the last 2 weeks it's been very difficult to get information out, and it's been a harrowing and nerve-wracking time. And I know some people are more affected by this than others. And it's I mean, now 2 weeks later, it's started to normalize in the city of Kathmandu itself. You know, some things are starting to get back to normal, but outside of Kathmandu, in the outskirts, in these areas, in these small towns and villages near the epicenter of the earthquake, these places were so hard to get to even before the earthquake. They were like just these one single, mountainous road. And now, after the earthquake and the aftershocks and the tremors and the landslides, it's almost impossible to get there at a time that you really, really need to get help there. And so I want to thank all of you for coming out here. This is really inspiring to see this amazing turnout, because I think we're all coming here because we care. Even though Nepal is so physically far away from us right now, it's on the other end of the world. But it's very close to our hearts here, and this it's not limited to just people from the Himalayan region, not just Tibetans and Nepalis and Darjeeling folks, but all of us as a global community. So thank you for coming out here. I want to let you know that today we're going to have a really amazing show. I think you're going to love the performers. We have a really amazing lineup of gifted performers who are donating their time and their talents to be here and share the space with us. And before we get started with the musical performances, I'd like to introduce the Venerable Khenpo Pema up on stage. Some of you may know of Khenpo Pema. He is the founder of the Vikramasila Foundation here in New York, which administers the Palden Sakya centers all across America. and also the Pema schools, which are schools based in India, in Nepal, and in one in New York City. And the one in Pokhara in Nepal was damaged a little bit by the earthquake, but thankfully not too badly affected, I believe. So Khenpo Pema is, and you all, if you have a chance, you should take it to speak to him. He's one of the most genuinely gentle, kind, compassionate people you could ever meet, and you should definitely take the opportunity to speak to him. So without further ado, let me introduce Khenpo Pema Wangdak.
I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone, and also I'd like to reiterate what you said about thanking you all for coming and joining with this solidarity with Nepal through support, especially funds that we're trying to raise today, and from yourself and through your friends and other people. Usually fundraising works better if somebody talks about it than directly asking it, which I'm very good at it. So if you tell somebody, they're more likely to do it, more than yourself. Sometimes people do more than the one who suggests. So I'd like to say a few words, first of all, about the importance. I'm sure this thing happens everywhere, anytime, in any corner of the world, and we're here because at least we are doing our responsibility that we have reason to. Our reasons are we all are responsible for ourselves, our families, and the country you live, and the people you work with. Nepal, for the Tibetan community, of course for the Nepalese especially, is homeland, at least for the Tibetan refugees. It's a second home. It's a cultural center for Tibetan culture, Buddhist culture. And it is where we usually use as stepping stone to reach out to the rest of the world, disseminating the teachings of the Buddha. In Nepal, for the Buddhists, is the most holy land because that's where Buddha was born. And it is this teachings of the Buddha that has the most influence on the humanity ever in the human history. So we have a lot of reasons to respond to think about it. And luckily, as mentioned earlier, the Friends monastery I'm personally connected to were safe, nobody was hurt. Only one monastery called International Buddhist Academy, which I'm connected to, has damage to the library. Probably they have to take it down. But again, considering the major damages that the rest of the community suffers, probably it's not that big deal. So I'm hoping today with this, I'd like to encourage through you to Nepal that this is one of the worst things ever to happen from Nepal, if I can think about it from my personal knowledge. And yet, it could be also a form of awakening of some sort, culturally, politically especially, economically. I've seen in the history, before something good to happen, there's always something bad happens. So instead of looking back at the bad part, I think we can look to the good side out of this disaster, this damages and ashes and whatever else that is left there. So we begin with this, since it's the most holy land for the Buddhist, and for those who loves any teaching that are based on peace, non-violence, kindness, compassion as the centerpiece of the religion and spiritual matters, which I think everybody believes that, regardless, whether with the different forms and sizes. And since the teachings of Buddha is a centerpiece, the essence is the religion itself, the peace, compassion itself is the center of that religion. Today, this afternoon, I'd like to ask all of you to join with me in saying some prayers for those who passed away, and for those who are suffering, and for those who are suffering because they lost their dear near ones. And to do that, and I'm sure some of you are Hindus, and maybe even other religion, you can all join with us in that spirit. Especially for the Buddhists, maybe you should join with me, maybe you will all stand up, and I'm going to recite prayer, and you may want to repeat word by word after me. We call taking refuge. And since I am holding an iPad microphone, I cannot do it, but you can hold your hand together at your heart, like in a prayerful gesture. Pray to anything you believe in. And for the Buddhists, pray to the Buddha, the teacher of Dharma, his teaching, Sangha, the community members who follow the teachings of the Buddha. In this triple Zen, we pray for everyone, for better rebirth for the deceased ones, for a better luck and prosperity, and once again, Nepal will renew itself to much more. I strongly believe that this is the good news, that what you call bad luck, we call good luck, bad luck, or whatever you call it, or bad luck, good luck. This is a Tibetan way of saying it. There's something good thing in this bad thing. I strongly believe that we ask to, we start with our state of mind, and we ask the higher ups to join with us, to ask their support and help. So please say these refuge prayer after me, word by word, since most of you don't know how to say those prayers. So repeat after me in Tibetan. Cho, Chuna, Shube, Sangye Tang, Changju Semba, Tamje Tang, Loben, Dala, Gongso So. Then repeat. Lama La, Gyao Si Chiu, Sangye La, Gyao Si Chiu, Che La, Gyao Si Chiu, Gindun La, Gyao Si Chiu. I'm going to repeat this refuge for the second time. Lama La, Gyao Si Chiu, Sangye La, Gyao Si Chiu, Che La, Gyao Si Chiu, Gindun La, Gyao Si Chiu. And for the third and last time, Lama La, Gyao Si Chiu, Sangye La, Gyao Si Chiu, Che La, Gyao Si Chiu, Gindun La, Gyao Si Chiu. And now you can relax, you can even sit down. I'll read some prayer in English so you all can understand. Buddha said that everything starts with a state of mind. A state of mind is what is a precursor to everything that's to happen. Peace and happiness and good luck and every good thing we pray for Nepal with our prayers. I'll read some of the verses of the prayer called Sevenfold Prayers. And you can join with me by focusing on the words. With the clarity of body, speech, and mind, I bow without exception to all the heroic Buddhas of the past, present, and future, in every word, in all the 10 directions. By the power of this aspiration of Samantabhadra, I manifest bodies as numerous as the atoms in all the lands, aware in mind of the presence of the numberless victorious Buddhas, and I prostrate to all of them. I conceive the entire realm of truth to be completely filled with enlightened ones. There are as many Buddhas as atoms present in each atom, each Buddha surrounded by many bodhisattvas. I honor all these blissful lords, praising their perfection with an ocean of melodies and sounds, an ocean of endless praise. I offer to those heroic Buddhas the best flowers, garlands, musics, and ornaments, excellent canopies, finest lamps, and the best incense. By the power of my faith and deeds of Samantabhadra, I prostrate and present vast and unequal offerings to each of the victorious Buddhas. I rejoice in the meritorious deeds of the Buddhas of the 10 directions, the Bodhisattvas, Pratyek Buddhas, Arhats, and practitioners and all beings. I request the enlightened protectors who have attained detachment of Buddhahood and illumine the world of the 10 directions to turn the peerless wheel of Dharma. With hands folded, I beseech those who intend to manifest the Prana Nirvana to remain for as many eons as there are atoms in the Buddha lands to gladden and benefit all living beings. May whatever little virtue I may have gained from prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and beseeching be dedicated to attaining perfect enlightenment. Our actions have a rippling effect if we imbue our acts with such a mind that goes beyond ourselves, beyond this world, beyond all across the universe itself. And it's, in other words, the effectiveness of any good thing we try to do, whether in prayer or on deeds or in actions or in funding or donations like this, will be strongly determined by the extent of our aspiration, our size of our hearts. So we empower our act through this initial beginning. And I'd like to all you encourage to do so in every act you do. Every day you wake up. I want to take the advantage to preach you a little bit for the rest of the day, the rest of the life, the rest of your working and waking hours. And we thank all of you for joining with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Khenpo Pema. All right, I think we're ready to start our musical performance. I'm extremely excited to introduce this first performer. He's a personal inspiration to me. This man is a Tibetan freedom fighter and activist. He was the executive director of Students for a Free Tibet, an organization which I'm very involved in. And but his talents don't end there. He's also a really gifted writer. He's a frequent contributor to the Huffington Post. He has a great blog, Yarlung Raging, and he's actually, he's going to be getting his Master's of Fine Arts in Writing from Columbia probably this weekend if he finishes papers on time. But it doesn't end there. He's also an amazing musician. and a hilarious cartoonist. And among our friends, we refer to him as the Tibetan Bob Dylan, as you'll soon see. And he'll be accompanied by Gyatso La, the famous interior architect of Tibet. Yeah, let's get started. Please help me in giving a warm welcome to Tendor and Gyatso.
Yeah, this good. Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much, Sogyala, and Sogyala's parents, Bala and Amla, and his whole family. I just want to say thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to come together for Nepal. Because I think, one thing that we hear about, every time we hear about Nepal, a lot of times it's about Everest, or something good happened on Everest, or something bad happened on Everest, like there's very limited context in which we hear about Nepal. And I think a lot of times people forget about how much Nepal has contributed to this world. I see a lot of friends here, and some Nepali friends as well, Tibetans also. But for us Tibetans actually, but Nepal has a lot of significance. It has so much significance in terms of culture, spirituality. Nepal is one of those places where Tibetans used to go for pilgrimage all the time before Tibet lost independence actually. It's kind of like, the religious tourism of Nepal. I think nowadays people in America, when we go on vacation, you go to Paris or Rome to see those great structures of the past. But I think for Tibetans, that kind of place where people used to travel to see was the temples and the stupas, the holy sites of Nepal. So Nepal has always held this really close special meaning for Tibetans, and right now, because of the political situation in Tibet, I think Nepal has once again become a sanctuary for the Tibetan community. So, for everything that Nepal has done for us, I think this is a really great opportunity for all the Tibetans in particular to come together and help out Nepal. And I think for non-Tibetans also, one thing we forget is, I think the language that we use, whether people are religious or not, especially in a city like New York, amid all the chaos and the madness of daily life, people want to be more mindful, or people want to be more present, people want to be more calm, right? And these are all language that were given to us by the Buddha. And I think sometimes we forget it because everyone knows the Buddha as somebody who lived and taught in India, which is true, but the Buddha was born in Lumbini in Nepal. And in fact, Buddha was not just born in Nepal, he was reborn many times in Nepal. One of the greatest stories about the Buddha's previous lives was the story of Tamulujen. I think Tibetans are familiar with that. The holy site in Nepal, where in a previous life, Buddha gave away his own body to a starving tigress to stop her from eating her cubs. And I think that particular action, more than anything else, is an act that remains in people's mind because of the compassion and the altruism that the Buddha taught in his lifetime. So I think Nepalis often, our Nepali friends, often do not like to talk about these words like compassion and altruism so much, but I think it is built into the culture of Nepal, and I think Nepali people that we know, they live these values. So we are very thankful to Nepal, and we are very thankful to have this opportunity to come together and perform this song. This is Gyatso. We play guitar together sometimes, and it's always a great pleasure to have him accompany me on the guitar. And the song that I'm going to perform is called The Nomad's Lament, and it's something that I wrote a few years ago to reflect the situation of the nomadic lifestyle coming to an end. But I think it's kind of apocalyptic. The theme is apocalyptic, and I think part of it sort of maybe is appropriate for what is the tragedy that has fallen in Nepal. But hopefully, as Lama Pemala said, Nepal will be reborn. Just like the Buddha was reborn many times, I think Nepal will be reborn once again.
Can I say just 2 words really quick? I'm sure Tino must be regretting to have me accompany him right now, because I have the tendency to get carried away and add my own tunes and messing things up. But I'll try my best not to add any more creative, not effort too much. Okay.
Semche thamche dura jardesha Dudine tharwe lam de jibesha Partinche chila tokache du song Lomang bujela